It's Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. It's the 287th day of the year, and we continue to track this powerful and highly unusual early season storm in California. I mean, look at this thing. It's plumb wild. You can see the spin here on the HRRR model showing the progression of the rain and snow showers today as we go into the day tomorrow. Everybody in the meteorology community is calling this very anomalous for this time of year, with the strength of this storm reaching October records. Okay, so this is definitely a big time storm. This is not a normal October storm, so we're going to keep tracking it through the day today. One of the things that this is going to come along with is some severe weather in two separate spots. We've got a big marginal risk over here in portions of New Mexico. This includes Albuquerque. This is where we're looking at some really heavy rain today, some cloud to ground lightning, potentially some flash flooding, and maybe some large hail. Okay, but if we go over here to Los Angeles, we've got an extremely rare tornado risk in Southern California. This includes Santa Clarita. This includes Oxnard. This includes Riverside and Long Beach, an actual real tornado risk. Now, the majority of this is going to happen right around the time this video comes out. So we're talking about, right around noon through midday. So it wouldn't be surprising to me if we saw downtown Los Angeles be under a tornado warning today, which is extremely rare. Okay, so if you live out here, make sure you're prepared. Know what you're going to do whenever that tornado warning comes through. A lot of people don't have a tornado action plan out here. This is a good time to get that together. It doesn't look like it's going to be a big outbreak or anything like that, but this is once again an anomalous risk for the Los Angeles area. So as this storm continues to slide through, it's going to bring in lots of rain to Southern California. There's also a very impressive excessive rainfall risk here north of Los Angeles, especially in burn scars and places like that. But one of the biggest things that's going to come out of this storm is the snow. Several feet of snow up here in the mountains of California, right there on the border of California and Nevada. We do expect to see several feet of snow in a very short period of time. We're also going to see some very strong winds as that low pressure system traverses over the Sierra. And that means that places like Interstate 80 near Donner's Pass are going to be a nightmare. Okay. So this is not going to be a place that you're going to want to be traveling over the next 24 to 36 hours. But notice how as the low pressure system goes across the Sierra and towards the Rockies, the snow kind of calms down a little bit. We're still going to have isolated pockets of snow over towards Utah and of course into, some of the other places in the Rockies, but the vast majority of our snow, our first big snowstorm of the year, is going to be happening over here in California. Now, what happens with this storm as we go even farther into the future? Watch that low pressure system go across the Rockies, make it into the Great Plains, and we're going to start to see rain break out in southern portions of Canada, up here in the upper Midwest and northern plains as well. And we're going to start to see storms break out along the Front Range. Some of these could be severe, but notice what happens as we go forward. That trough's going to spill out over the Rockies and form a good old-fashioned cold front and a stronger low pressure system down here that's going to pull up some moisture from the Gulf and bring about some very heavy rain and some actually severe thunderstorms, especially as we go into Saturday over here in the mid-Mississippi River Valley, down here into Arkansas, Missouri, maybe even into Illinois and Kentucky. So this is our next big storm system that we're watching right here on the evening of the 18th. And we're about to get so much deeper into that, but first let's shout out today's awesome sponsor, WEATHERWISE, the best weather radar app. This is a free-to-download, state-of-the-art, ad-free radar app available on iOS and Android, or you can literally open it up in a web browser. And now there's even more to this revolutionary weather viewing tool. A few months ago, I told you about WeatherWise Plus, where you could pay a small fee and unlock all kinds of cool features like Y'all Mode, which makes your weather radar look like mine, the one that I use on the live streams, or the 3D globe projection, radar smoothing, and the enhanced lightning visualizations, and much more. Well, now there's a step even above that. Introducing WeatherWise Pro, the standard for visual weather data interaction in 2025. With WeatherWise Pro, you're going to get professional level radar tools like real-time 3D cross-section views so you can see inside the storm, triple view on mobile and quad view on tablets and desktop, Reflectivity X, which gives you 2 times the amount of radar scans for the same time period, and max reflectivity, which shows you the composite max reflectivity across 5 to 30 scans. No other radar app out there is doing this stuff. My favorite new pro feature is the flash reflectivity tool. tool, which allows you to set a reflectivity range you want to flash so you can immediately highlight areas of concern completely custom to your preferences. And of course, the new Weather Alerts Impact Reports, which allow you to see the population, the amount of homes, scheduled events, and sensitive infrastructure inside warning polygons at a glance. And of course, Fast Scan, which gives you ultra low latency radar scans and this very awesome, fully customizable radar sweep animation. Now, once again, one of the big things about WeatherWise and the reason why I like working with them so much is because it's free. If you want all of the same data that the National Weather Service uses to issue severe thunderstorm warnings and stuff like that, you don't have to pay a dime. But if you want these professional level monitoring tools, there's no better option out there. Upgrade to WeatherWise Pro today. There's a way to do it inside of your app, and if you don't have the app yet, scan this QR code or go to weatherwise.app in your browser. And once again, it's free, but I definitely recommend the Plus and the Pro versions. Super huge shout out to WeatherWise. Couldn't ask for a better weather app to be working with. Now let's get back into the video. And once again, this is all starting today on the coast of California. In just a few days from now, we're going to be talking about Memphis, Tennessee, getting in on the impacts of that very storm, which is a pretty cool thing. This is going to impact everybody in the United States. Now, specifically down here in Arkansas, around Memphis, up there towards southern portions of Illinois, we're going to have lots of energy. We're going to have dew points in the 60s. We're going to have wind shear there, and we're also going to have thunderstorm fuel, this convective available potential energy. It's going to be up there above 2,500 joules per kilogram as storms start to form around Little Rock in the evening on Saturday, and storms will progress into Tennessee and Kentucky as we go into the early morning hours on Sunday. But notice how that cape kind of fizzles out as we go into the early morning hours. So this is definitely going to be an afternoon and overnight threat, mostly for the state of Arkansas, really, and southern portions of Missouri. You can see that highlighted really well here on our Day 5 SPC outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. This is a 15% risk. This includes St. Louis, Springfield, Memphis, Little Rock, Shreveport, all these places, and literally the entire state of Arkansas. We will more than likely be live this day, covering severe weather, and we're talking about heavy rain, we're talking about large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes. All of these things are possible right now. It's too far out to talk about specific details, but some models are showing a storm that could be a supercell producer, so this might actually be a tornado threat that we've really got to keep an eye on here as we go forward. So that's going to be our main focus over the next couple of days. But what else is going on out there? Well, let's take a look at the winds about 18,000 feet above our heads and just watch the whole continent here and the space around it in the northern hemisphere as we go into the future. Notice our trough here. This is what's causing our severe weather. That's going to skedaddle. We are going to have another trough and ridge form right after that. We're going to be in this kind of omega system where we're going to have very warm air building back up in the plains and another big trough coming down into the western side of the United States as we go into next week. And that potentially could be a pretty impactful system once again for the Pacific Northwest down into California, and then that might eject out over the Rockies into the plains and become another severe weather system that we have to track. But the big thing that I want to point out here is this fire hose. Look at this giant area of increased upper level winds coming across the Pacific. We are going to have a very, very stormy time in the Pacific Northwest and western portions of Canada up into Alaska over the next 2 weeks. It's going to be one of the stormier periods I've seen in a while. And if you live in Alaska or in British Columbia or the Pacific Northwest, you definitely need to be prepared for that. But another thing that this is indicating is an increased volatility in our jet stream here in the lower 48. So this means that we're going to have more of these troughs, more of these storm systems move through the United States and bring about severe weather and snow in the heartland of the United States. So that's just, looking into the future, things are getting much more active. We've been in a sleepy period with the weather, but you definitely don't get away from this without some big time weather events happening here in the States. And also notice this little straggler down here. There's not a lot going on with the tropics, but we do have a Caribbean storm potentially trying to form down here as we go into late October. So that's just a reminder that we're not out of the woods completely yet with the tropics, but also we don't want to put too much stock into this one model run here. So that's the gist of what's going on with our weather. As far as temperatures go, over the next 6 to 10 days, we do expect to be above average east of the Rockies, below average west of the Rockies, pretty much near average right along the spine there. But this pattern is what is sparking up our chances of severe weather and all this rain that's going to be happening in the middle of the country. I think we'll be locked into this for quite some time. And that's pretty much all the weather talk I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you slap a like on this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.